Hi, everyone, and welcome. We'll get started in just a minute or two as folks finish joining. I'm seeing a steady increase of participants joining. While we'd wait, I'd love to get to know who's with us today. So if you can, please drop your name, your organization, where you're joining from in the chat. It's always inspiring to see the range of communities represented in these sessions. If you've been part of one of our Built to Serve webinars before, welcome back. If this is your first one, we're really glad you're here. Thank you for joining us today. Got Memphis, Venezuela. All right. We're from all over the country and all over the world. Las Vegas, Dallas, San Jose, Houston. Anyone joining from somewhere with snow yet or sunshine? Give us a weather check-in if you are up for it. Yep, Nigeria, we're going all the way across the world. 80 degrees. Ooh, want to be wherever you're at, Sherry. Michigan, no snow yet. All right. Well, I'm going to get started so we can make the most of our time together. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for Funder Confidence in the Age of Accountability, Smarter Reporting for Nonprofits. This session is part of the Built to Serve webinar series presented by Ford in partnership with Microsoft. We're here to share practical, people-centered strategies to strengthen program delivery, accountability, and impact. I am Helen Hennighausen, Partnership Lead at Ford. Before coming to Ford, I spent nearly a decade working with youth empowerment and education nonprofits, leading operations, development, and global programming with organizations like Partners for Youth Empowerment and Young Women Empowered. At Partners for Youth Empowerment, where I served as Global Executive Director, I oversaw youth leadership programs in more than 20 countries. I've been on your side of the table, balancing service delivery, fundraising, and the constant need to prove that what we do has positive impact on people's lives and in their communities. At Ford, I now partner with nonprofits across the country who are navigating the same challenge, meeting rising expectations for transparency while protecting staff from burnout. Today, we'll explore how organizations can simplify reporting, use data more strategically, and build funder confidence, even when resources are stretched thin. So before we dive in, let's start with a quick look at who Ford is and how we partner with organizations like yours. Ford is the trusted partner helping nonprofits and public agencies deliver programs that change lives faster, fair, and with greater accountability. We simplify complex program operations through technology built for impact. With Ford, nonprofit teams can centralize data across programs, clients, and funders, reduce reporting burden through automation and real-time dashboards, strengthen funder confidence with transparent audit-ready reporting, and tell richer stories of impact by combining quantitative data with lived experience. Trusted by governments and nonprofits across the country, Ford helps agencies reclaim time for what matters most, serving their communities. Now that you know who we are, let's talk about why this topic matters so much right now. We're living in what many call the age of accountability. Funders and boards expect more than updates or anecdotes. They want real-time visibility into how dollars are spent and proof that programs are achieving measurable results. For nonprofits, that can feel like a lot, but there's also an opportunity here. Transparency and good data build trust, and trust builds lasting partnerships. So when funders can see that you're not just doing good work, but tracking real outcomes, they're more likely to invest again and again. And that's why Forward exists, to help organizations turn accountability into advantage without burning out their teams. But of course, we all know this kind of transparency doesn't come easily. So before we take a look at what it takes behind the scenes, I'd love to hear from you. When it comes to reporting, what are the biggest challenges your team faces right now? It could be too many funder requirements, data lives in too many systems, inability to collect data effectively. That was a big one for me when I was running my nonprofit. Lack of staff time or capacity, hard to turn data into stories, unsure how to measure qualitative outcomes. That's always another big one. So let's just take a few minutes and take a look. Yeah, it looks like the inability to effectively collect data, lack of staff time or capacity are rising to the top here. Yeah, no, you're not alone in this, and this is why we're here. It's part most of us know really well. Reporting requirements are multiplying. Every funder seems to want something just slightly different. And I don't know, my team was juggling spreadsheets, systems, and deadlines. And somewhere along the way, proving impact starts taking more time than making it. And we've all been there, staying late to reconcile numbers between programs and finance, customizing reports for each grant or the board, and making sense of a variety of data sources that don't always talk to each other. We hear this everywhere. We're proving impact, but at the cost of our team's well-being. So that's why smarter reporter reporting isn't just a compliance issue, it's a sustainability issue. So if we're all feeling that strain, what exactly are funders asking for, and how can we meet their expectations? When we boil it down, here, funders are looking for two things: transparency and outcomes. They want to know how dollars are being used, but more importantly, what difference they're making. A major study from Candid found that nonprofits with strong transparency practices, those that share data clearly and proactively, receive on average 62% more contributions than those that don't. When funders can see your data and your progress, they gain confidence in your stewardship and your strategy. Which brings us to an important mindset shift, seeing accountability not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Everyone on this call already understands the importance of accountability. It's how we earn trust from funders, from the communities we serve, and from our own teams. But let's be honest, it's also one of the hardest parts of the work. Measuring impact at a human level is complex. The outcomes that matter most, belonging, stability, hope, are often the hardest to quantify. How do you quantify confidence, belonging, stability? How do you measure the ripple effects of a food pantry or a youth empowerment program? Some organizations are fortunate to have evaluation staff or research partners who help translate program outcomes into data, but many smaller and mid-sized nonprofits don't have that capacity, even though they're delivering life-changing results every single day. That's the reality we see across the sector: incredible programs, powerful stories, and limited tools to capture and communicate impact in ways that resonate with funders. So when we talk about accountability as an opportunity, we mean reframing it, not as a reporting exercise, but as an act of storytelling and stewardship. It's a chance to show the integrity, compassion, and excellence that defines your work. And when the systems behind that reporting are intuitive and supportive, accountability can actually become empowering. It's what transforms a good program into a trusted investment and data into shared language of trust and partnership. To show you what that looks like in practice, let's look at two real-world examples. I'd like to share how data transparency can deepen trust and unlock new opportunities. So, for example, the City of St. Louis Guaranteed Basic Income Program, in partnership with Washington University, used Forward to collect real-time participant data. The research team analyzed outcomes like family stability and economic mobility. Similarly, in Pomona, California, the city's Guaranteed Basic Income Initiative worked with UCLA researchers to track outcomes for families with young children. In both cases, solutions at Forward acted as the secure bridge between program delivery and research, allowing staff to share de-identified data safely without adding new reporting burdens. But most nonprofits don't have university partners or impact and evaluation staff, and that's okay. In the same platform, the platform tools can help any organization collect, organize, and visualize impact data. So whether you're tracking participants served, progress over time, or follow-up surveys, having clean, accessible data makes it easier to tell your story. And that data becomes the foundation for trust, the trust that sustains relationships and drives new opportunities. So, what can organizations that don't have a research partner or an evaluation budget do? So let's talk about bridging that gap. Measuring impact well often takes funding that smaller nonprofits just don't have. You need staff, systems, and partnerships to do it right. But what if you could start where you're at with the data you already collect and build from there? That's where a platform like Forward can help bridge the gap. You can capture and analyze meaningful data without the cost of a full research team. Think of it as impact measurement that scales with you. You can begin by tracking participant outcomes, service delivery, and demographics, and then layer on surveys, interviews, and the feedback as capacity grows. Impact reporting shouldn't be a luxury. It should be achievable for every organization delivering community care. Now that we've talked about bridging the gap between impact and capacity, I'd love to know where your organization is today. How structured and how automated is your organization's current system for gathering and reporting programs and impact data? There's no right or wrong answers. It just helps us see where most are starting from. So a few poll questions. How would you describe your organization's current data and reporting process? Are you entirely manual? Are you partially automated? You have some templates or some dashboards, but you still do a lot by hand, mostly automated, or are you fully integrated? So you have real-time dashboards, cross-program data sharing. Yeah, perfect. That's really helpful. Most organizations we talk to are somewhere between entirely manual and partially automated. So how do we actually make a shift to increasing automation? Let's walk through a practical framework. So how do we make reporting smarter and lighter without losing the depth of what makes your programs meaningful? We use what we call the Insight to Impact framework. It's our 5-step approach designed to help organizations modernize their reporting practices while reducing the workload on staff. It's not about technology for technology's sake. It's about bringing together the data you already collect, surveys, intake forms, case notes, attendance, outcomes, all of that, and turning it into insight. The 5 steps are: 1, assess where your current reporting processes break down. 2, standardize how data is collected and defined. 3, automate the manual work that drains your time. 4, visualize progress in real time. And 5, tell the story behind the data. So let's walk through these one by one. The first step is to understand where the friction lies in your current process. Ask your team, where do we spend the most time preparing reports? Which reports cause the most stress or confusion? Which data sources are the hardest to align across the teams? You might find that program or finance staff define success differently, or that you're collecting the same information multiple multiple times for different funders, excuse me. Mapping these pain points helps reveal where alignment and automation can have the greatest impact. Sometimes it's as simple as standardizing how outcomes are defined or clarifying who owns which data fields. Once you know your pain points, it's time to get everyone onto the same page. So next, we standardize and centralize. Every team, programs, finance, communications should be working from the same version of the truth. That means defining your metrics consistently across programs and storing data in one secure system. This doesn't require a huge tech investment. It can start with shared templates or a single dashboard that everyone updates. When participant information, service data, and outcomes all live in one place, your reporting naturally becomes faster, more accurate, and more meaningful. This also allows you to connect data across programs and see how access to transportation affects job retention or how mentoring hours correlate to youth leadership outcomes. After you've aligned your data, the next step is to take back time. Automation is not about replacing people. It's about protecting their time and increasing their capacity. You can automate things like data collection through digital forms or pre and post surveys, report generation using templates tied to your key metrics, notifications and reminders for reporting deadlines. Many nonprofits that introduce automation see 30 to 50% reductions in administrative burden, and that time can be reinvested in program design, community partnership, and direct service delivery. By automating routine reporting, your team can focus on interpreting the data and not just compiling it. So with more time freed up, you can focus on what really matters, understanding your data. And this is where things start to come alive. Instead of a static PDF that takes several hours to compile, imagine being able to show funders or even your board a live dashboard of your outcomes. These dashboards give a full picture of your impact by bringing quantitative and qualitative data together in one place. So let's break that down for a moment. Quantitative data tells you what happened. It's your numbers and your metrics, how many people served, attendance rates and completion rates, pre and post survey scores, demographics like age or income or geography, percentage changes like 85% of participants reported increased confidence. Qualitative data tells you why it matters. In the context, emotion, it's the story behind those numbers. Participant interviews and open-ended survey responses, counselor or facilitator observations, case notes or journaling from staff, alumni follow-up stories or testimonials. So when you visualize both together, the data becomes human. You can show a funder that 85% of campers reported higher confidence, and right besides it, share that one camper said she ran for student council for the first time and won. It's the kind of evidence that inspires confidence. It's both measurable and memorable. And once your story is visible, the final step is sharing it in a way that builds connection. So once you have both sides of the data, the measurable outcomes and the human stories, you can use them to drive improvements and deepen trust. The quantitative data shows what's working. Qualitative data explains why it's working, or even sometimes where it's not. Together, they close the loop, and you can refine curriculum, adjust interventions, and share those learnings with funders. Here's where we succeeded, here's where we saw gaps, and here's how your next investment will help us grow. That level of transparency transforms reporting from a burden into a strategic asset. It shows your organization isn't just delivering services, you're learning, you're adapting, and leading with insight. That's smarter reporting, data with depth, stories with soul, and trust that grows stronger over time. So now let's see what this looks like in action. Ford centralizes all your programs and services in one secure platform, giving you a complete view of your organization's work. Here you can see a high-level overview of all your current and past programs. each with real-time updates, funding detail, and performance metrics. This makes it easy to track progress across multiple initiatives at a glance. So let's go into a specific program. This is your program control panel, your command center for designing, managing, and monitoring every detail of your initiative. From here, you can build custom applications and intake forms, configure workflows and eligibility rules, set automated notifications and reminders, manage communications with applicants and reviewers. Everything you need is right here, purpose-built for program delivery. But for today's webinar, let's take a closer look at one of the most powerful tools in Forward, the reporting dashboard. The reporting dashboard gives you a live snapshot of your program's performance. No spreadsheets or manual calculations are required. You can easily edit the dashboard layout, change the chart types, customize the color palette to match your organization's branding. And because the dashboard is tied directly to your program data hosted in Forward, every graph updates automatically and in real time. So as applications are submitted, reviewed, approved, you'll see those updates. And you can tailor each page to your specific reporting needs. So let's go ahead and add a new graph to track how many applicants are over the age of 18. In just a few clicks, we can filter the data, select the visualization type, and instantly see the results. No manual exports, just clean dynamic data at your fingertips. One of the most powerful features of the dashboard is Map View. Here you can visualize applications, awards, or services by zip code, making it easy to see where funds are going, identify service gaps, and measure geographic equity. This interactive map gives leadership and funders a clear picture of community reach and impact. And when you're ready to share your results, you can create a public view of your dashboard, publish key metrics or geographic insights directly to your website or partner portals to build transparency and strengthen trust with funders, community partners, and residents. And with Forward, your data isn't just stored, it's activated. Real-time dashboards, customizable visuals, and configurable reports make it easy to demonstrate your impact, strengthen accountability, and serve your community with confidence. Now, let's explore how Forward helps you create funder-ready reports, protect sensitive information, and make data management easier for every role in your organization. Let's start with the form builder. Here, you can create and customize intake or application forms to meet your program's exact reporting requirements. Every field in the form can be configured from basic text and drop-down menus to advanced form logic that adjusts based on applicant responses. This means you can collect only the data you need while meeting specific funder or compliance requirements. In the settings panel, administrators can also toggle field protections for sensitivity or personal identifiable information known as PII. You can easily mark fields as restricted or non-reportable, ensuring that confidential information stays secure and is only visible to authorized users. Now let's go over to the report setting. Here you can determine what reports you want to make available, who can see them, and what level of data access each role should have. For example, case managers can view operational reports with client detail necessary for service delivery, while leadership can view high-level impact reports that summarize outcomes without exposing any PII. This role-based visibility ensures that everyone gets insights that they need and nothing they shouldn't. Now let's switch to the view from a case manager's dashboard. From the Applications tab, we'll open the Report section, and there it is. Reports are automatically generated based on real-time data, so you always have the most current information available. Each report can be customized to display the metrics that matter most to your team, whether it's service delivery progress, participant outcomes, or funding utilization. And when you're ready to share or analyze the data, reports can easily be exported to CSV files for deeper analysis or submission to funders. So modernizing reporting can feel big, but there's easy steps you can take right away. Start small, pick one report or one program and test a new process. Here's a few quick wins. One, map all your active funders and reports each one requires. Identify where teams are entering the same data more than once. Create a shared folder or a spreadsheet for tracking program outcomes. Standardize one metric across the program, such as number of individuals served. Use a simple automation tool or a form builder for your next report cycle. So each step saves time and it builds momentum towards larger change. So before we close, let's recap the key takeaway from today's session. One, accountability is not just compliance. It's a way to build stronger relationships with funders. Transparency and clear reporting lead to increased trust and more funding opportunities. Smarter reporting through standardization, automation, and storytelling reduces staff burnout and boosts efficiency. Real-time dashboards and audit-ready practices makes your organization more resilient and funder-ready at any time. And every improvement, no matter how small, helps your team focus more on mission and less on manual work. So now we're going to open the floor to take a couple questions. Please drop your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom screen. That's the best place for us to track them. And I'm going to try and answer as many as I can during our session today. And for any questions that we don't get to, we'll follow up afterwards through email. So I am going to go and open the Q&A myself. Let's see. One moment while I get that open. This isn't a question, but it's a comment. Yep, so running the reports for funders is same as running a report for boards. Yes, it can be used for board reporting and development of annual reports. Everything is consolidated in one space and greatly simplifies annual report production to give your individual contributors a solid snapshot as well. There's a couple pricing questions. And we'll be following up with a recording. Yep, there's a couple questions regarding the recording as well. We will follow up with the recording. So we'll follow up with recording and pricing information. I see both of those coming in. A couple people would like to share this recording with other individuals in their team. So we'll follow up with that shortly.
Oh, and there's a question in the chat. How does this
in the
interact with
chat.
other software?
Sorry. Yeah, so we have integrations with other software. So Nathan, if you'd like to, we can follow up with you via email to understand a little bit more specificity on which software integrations you're interested in, and we can talk about what that would look like. Any other questions? There aren't any other questions in the Q&A at the moment. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you for spending time with us today. If you'd like to keep learning how nonprofits are simplifying reporting and strengthening funder confidence, we'd love for you to subscribe to our email newsletter. We'll drop the link in the chat. It's full of practical resources, stories, and upcoming sessions from our Built to Serve series. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. And if today's conversation sparked ideas for your own organization, let's keep the conversation going. You can schedule a personalized demo to see how Forward is helping teams reduce reporting burden, centralize data, and turn impact into insight, all while staying focused on what matters most, the people in the communities you serve. The link is in the chat as well. And remember, smarter reporting isn't about doing more work, it's about doing the right work. Together, we can make accountability lighter, impact clearer, and your mission stronger. So thank you.